Hello everyone. So I've just been doing some checking up on the grapes as we've just had a bit of dump of rain. It's quite heavy. Just check whether there's been any damage. And I went and looked at one of the air layers that I'd put or cut in February. So I've done a big one on a grapevine this year. I did one last year. I'll show you that now. So I did a bigger one and I've just been to check on it and it has roots coming out of it. I'm going to chop it off and pot it and yeah, show you the process. You can see it, white duct tape. Step over the garden carefully and not try and break anything. Like the brambles. So this is it. You can see the roots, look. Quite a beast. There's a lot of growth on it that I wasn't expecting. Family of earwigs. Bit of root burn, that's not ideal. But look at all them. We'll get that into a pot. Grissa, yeah. Can I borrow you a second?
Jesus, it's huge. Oh my goodness.
It's a bit big for the pot, really. Can you get the compost or just that, like, is that spare compost in the bucket?
Yeah. Do you want to not just put it in this bucket, or does it need to be that small?
Well, I could put it in that bucket. And it's not got drainage, does it?
No, it doesn't. Oops, sorry.
Thank you.
Do you want a post or something to help up it?
Maybe.
I think it's just going to fall over. Amazing.
Isn't it?
But won't you have to trim some of the ends off?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
and the grapes probably. Honestly.
Isn't it? Beast.
You need to hand with anything else.
It's not going to stand up, is it? There you go.
Oh!
Hey! Guess we give it a bit of a prune, eh? It's a bit more manageable now. Not bad for a potted vine, eh? Hopefully it'll survive until winter and then we can bring it all back in and make it a bit more manageable. I don't know if you remember me telling you or showing you at winter about pruning the grapevines, and this year it's the second year we've had them and I gave them a much harder prune this year. The idea being that the harder you prune, the more grapes you actually get. And so we really pruned hard on this vine. And check this out. Look at all those grapes. Some serious bunches, isn't it? It's a shame they're not hanging and they're sat on the rock. They'll probably catch some sort of mildew or something because of that. Bunches galore. And this is pretty much the same across the land. So with any luck, we're going to have a lot more grapes this year, which means a lot more wine. What are you doing, sausage?
joined boulders. It's not too hot because you've got that breeze.
Yeah.
Joker. You good boy. Yeah. Look at a dog with a cone on his head. Absolute chaos. But recovery is coming along well. Energy levels are increasing, as you can see. I swear they have like this comedy sense where they just do even more stupid stuff than they would normally do. Crashing it into my head and into sausage and stuff. So what with all of this going on last week, we also had an email from the VW garage in Castello telling us that our complimentary period of the vehicle being in their car park had come to an end, so we had to move the car. So fortunately, a friend of ours that we met through Cindy Vine, Greg, pointed us in the direction of a mechanic who has been an absolute godsend. The van has been there this week as well, so the car's gone to him now. We are hopefully close to getting an engine sorted. We're just confirming the engine codes and the chassis number and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, so he's gonna put the engine in the car for us. Ow. You crazy dog. Yeah, so that's good news. We finally got some progress on that done.
Good morning guys, I cannot believe the weather. It's nearly July and I'm actually sitting in the sun because it's cold in the shade. It feels so heavenly. We've not been able to strim because the fire risk has been too high, but today there is a restriction where you can work before 11 AM. So we're going to get some of that done this morning, which will be nice to try and get as much of that done today, and hopefully this will be the last strim of the year. So it got a bit hot to do any more strimming, so we're both working in the shade. I just had some email work to do, and Yuan is putting together a new box for the chickens, as one of them has gone a bit broody, so she's hogging the nesting box. Woo, it is bright out here. So yeah, that's what we're doing in this hot day. We've just tried to use all the old bits of wood we had about the house. I think it's worked okay, hopefully they like it. I did start putting hay in, but they just kick it out, so maybe I'll put hay in one and see how they go. So many butterflies on this oregano. As we've got all the tools out, this is a basket I found in the bin. My favourite thing to do, rescue things from the bin, so I'm going to see if I can fix this somehow.
Quando o piano já não quer mais tocar e as teclas pretas não saem do lugar, quando o corno inglês ter que ir pro xadrez porque não tem mais onde ficar.
So I just fixed on these new feet as a way to fix the bottom because it was split, and then I've tried to attach the basket along here, but I think I can't put anything too heavy in it. And then I just found this piece of metal that just about squeezes through, not with one hand though, so that I can close it. But better than going in the bin. So I don't think we've done you a full update on Diogo yet. He had his checkup a couple of days ago. Everything's looking good apart from he slipped over in the vets. They have very slippery floors, and he cried a lot, and he also managed to get at the wound. He's just about managed to sort of wedge the cone on his hip, so it opened up a little bit, so it's not healed as fast as it could, and that means he needs to keep the cone on for another week, with which he is causing a lot of chaos. And it's also just, I can see how frustrated he is if he gets an itch or anything. I try and itch for him. But yeah, hopefully we'll be getting that off really soon, and then once the wound is healed we'll be able to take him swimming, because he needs a lot of rehabilitation. There's a lot of muscle loss in that leg. But yeah, he's doing really well. He's such a happy, friendly, lovely little dog, although a little bit crazy, which is normal of course because he's a puppy. But yeah, he really loves people. When we let him outside, he doesn't try to run away. Do you? Hi guys! Thank you. We did have a lovely email from a couple and said they would happily give Diogo a new home, because we were saying we weren't sure whether we were going to keep him. And to be honest, both our hearts sank, because we were like, oh no, I don't think we can give him up. He's ours now. So yeah, it's looking more and more likely that he's sticking around, but we do have that as a backup because they seem like a super lovely couple. So yeah, I think we've moved from 60-40 keeping him to 75-25 keeping him. One thing we really need to do though is secure our boundary. That was one of the main reasons we felt we weren't ready for another dog, because Frankie stays really close, but we don't know whether another dog would just go off roaming. But so far he hasn't shown signs of that, and securing the boundary is a huge job. But we'll get started on it, I guess. But yeah, all is well with Diogo. What do you think? What on earth are you doing? Oh, I can't wait to get that cone off him. Anyway, I'm going to go water the top garden, and I'm going to do it from our IBCM reservoir by hand. It's much slower, but I think it's much better to try and empty them as often as possible and then refill them, just to keep the water fresh and flowing. So yeah, the sun is slowly starting to set the temperature is lovely right now, so yeah, time to get in the garden. Needs a bit more planning, but this could work. We tried something similar last year, but yeah, just couldn't really get it to work. But at least one part of the tomato patch got a lot of flood irrigation. I did put a small amount of chlorine in the water maybe a couple of weeks ago now, but yeah, it already started to go green. Chlorine goes within 24 hours, I think, actually. So yeah, I think I might fill it up just a low amount tomorrow, chlorine shock so it'll clean all the green, and then fill it up halfway, because then it's the nicest way to sit in. And yeah, we're having more thoughts about this area, forever trying to plan best, but we want to cap the well, and then Yuan was saying we should take down the reservoir because it's a really nice place to sit for your morning coffee, and maybe we would build something similar here. But then I thought, if we cap the well, we could build some decking, because the problem is as well, this gap here is really useless and all around it. But if we decked, so cap the well, put decking across, and then did it so you could sit on the decking and have your feet in the reservoir, it could be pretty lovely, and then negates the emptiness of this space because you can walk across here. We shall see. But the other thing that happened the other day was the neighbour of this plot of land, who we've only seen about 4 times, came and asked if we wanted to buy it for 10,000 euros. It's the dogs are all going. There's some dogs over here, but I don't hear them too much. So it's this thin plot all the way along here, and here there's a big well, and then it's the back of our house. But there's also a back road here, which does mean potentially we would be able to park here. But yeah, we've bought enough land this year, so we can't do it. But yeah, it would be very, very cool little piece to have added on. Maybe in a year we could think about it again. But for now, there's too much other stuff going on. Still need to fix the car and everything, so. How red his legs are. Hey, sweet boy. Is it dinner time?